Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of Crosstalk. I'm Josh Lemons, Jackson Generals beat writer for the Jackson Sun. Alongside me, the voice of the Jackson Generals, Chris Harris. So, finally won a series.
It's been a while,
It's been a while.
Yeah.
But it was good to see the Generals able to take 3 of 5 from Huntsville, even though dropping the series finale today 7-5. But it was really good to see all 3 components sort of coming together at the same time, and I really think, Chris, when you see all 3 of those components come together, it's a pretty good team, pretty hard to beat.
I think you're seeing a few things. I think number one is some consistency. I think while we were on the road trip, I thought it really started on that road trip to Mobile or to Jacksonville, then to Mobile. We lost 6 of 10 on that road trip. We really had a chance to win 7 of 10. You look back at some of those games, but guys started to gel together. We didn't have a single roster move over those 10 days.
Yeah.
I think guys kind of know what their roles are with this team right now, and I think we saw kind of the culmination of that. Lost that first game on Saturday, but you're starting to see this middle of the order start to produce some runs. I mean, you look at Dan Paolini, you look at Pat Kivlahan, who's finally starting to swing the bat well, and then Dario Paisano, who we knew could hit. He's finally, the last 3 days with 9 RBIs, has come through. But the pitching's been good for the most part, and then offensively, I mean, the last 4 days you've had double-digit hits.
Yeah. Again, another 12 hits today in a loss.
Yeah.
And really, Cam Hobson coming in relief of Miller gives that one. There's the second pitch he threw, but it was just high right into the zone, and they made him pay for a 3-run shot. That's the difference in the ball
right.
game.
And that guy, I mean, Mitch Haniger, number 3 prospect for the Milwaukee Brewers. I mean, that guy's really good, and he just happened to have a big game against us.
Yeah, and we're talking about taking 3 of 5 from a team that's 20 games over 500.
Right.
Just loaded with prospects, but like you said, it's Kivlahan had 3 doubles a couple nights ago. Went 3 for 4 with 2 RBI and 2 runs scored. So that's good to see from him. It's like Paisano. It's good to see. I was talking with Horner just a little while ago, and it seems like those guys are starting to make that transition from single to double. And we've stressed it a lot, but it is the hardest transition in baseball.
It's tough, and I know with Kivlahan for sure, he's a guy that he reminds me a lot. I was watching some highlights the other night of David Wright, the third baseman for the New York Mets, and he reminds me a lot of him because Kivlahan has the power to all fields, and I think he has a great future ahead of him. And you remember, he's a guy that played 3 years of college football, played 1 year of college baseball at Rutgers, and he's been terrific. But Paisano, he's a guy that, and talking to skipper Jim Horner as well, when he uses the middle of the field, that's when he's at his best. And we saw that grand slam home run in the first inning on Monday night. That was the straightaway center field. He got a lot of base hits up the middle. When you start using the middle of the field with him especially, that's when he gets going. And then I'll lead into Dan Paolini because I think he's been the key. He had a tremendous road trip, and he's your guy that's been consistent in that 3-hole. He's had RBIs in now 5 straight games.
Yeah.
Had 7 in this series in total, and his average is up over 280. I tell you, if someone falls off that All-Star roster, I think he might get added.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And speaking of the All-Star roster, Colsheen coming in and getting the final out last night to pick up his 5th save.
Right.
That's now, 17 of 21 appearances, game appearances without a run scored. I mean, that's impressive. It's a 1.27 ERA.
Yeah.
And also got to give a shout out to Ketel Marte, who's the youngest guy on the, at least on the Southern League North roster, at 20 years old. First All-Star appearance for him. And
that doesn't happen. I mean, you don't see a 20-year-old at this level, make an All-Star team. And obviously we know he's got to grow defensively. The 17, 18 errors have added up for him. But I mean, offensively, I think offensively he could play in the big leagues right now.
Yeah.
It's defensively, maybe base running, and then he's got to mature. I think he realizes that, and they've talked to him about the keeping your head on straight in certain situations. Cooler heads prevail, and don't get so mad at yourself. But Ketel Marte is really going to be special.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. Is you see that level of frustration when he strikes out. He does not want to lose, and you've got to love that kind of competitive spirit in a guy. I think another guy though that is a utility guy that sometimes gets a little overlooked is Jack Martyr.
And today, had a great series,
Yeah, and we saw him today in the leadoff spot, and I was kind of questioning it a little bit because I hadn't seen him in the leadoff spot, and then he goes and he's doing a great job job with placement of
right.
the baseball. He's not hitting for power.
Mm-hmm.
He's not swinging for the fences. He's just finding little pockets to get himself on base, and it's paying off.
And he's doing what he did in 2012 with High Desert. He was the guy that hit 330, was an all-star in the California League, and he hit over 300 the month of May. Had a great road trip, and then he continued it here today. He had 2 hits in the series finale, and playing some really good second base as well. He made one of the best plays I've seen at second base this year to take away a hit in that I think it was 6th inning.
Yeah, and what was that acrobatic spin he had yesterday, and nearly got the guy out at first. It was just a little low on the throw, but I mean that would have been a SportsCenter web gem right there if the throw had been a little bit more on. It's exciting to see. When you're seeing guys like Sanchez having a good outing,
sure.
and
he's getting there.
He's getting there.
Outing by outing, I think Victor Sanchez is getting better.
I think he is. He threw 87 pitches in this series. That was the most that he had thrown in any outing this season, and that's what I'm liking to see is that they're slowly working him into the 90s to the 95s,
sure.
To where he can go 5, go 6, and get the win. Because when he only goes 4, he's not getting the win. But it's about developing him.
Speaking of pitching, and we'll wrap up, I guess, with this. I want to preview something you got coming up as well, which is we have the Snowman back, Forrest Snow. I know you've spoken with him extensively. It's just great to see him back. He spent parts of 2012, 2013 here. He made a mistake, and I know he talked pretty extensively with you about it, and you got a story coming up about it.
Yeah. He spoke exclusively with me, and guys, we'll have that for you in the next couple days. Check in with JacksonSun.com. We're going to run that on Saturday. So tune in to JacksonSun.com, pick it up in the print edition. We have the exclusive one-on-one with Forrest Snow about what went down and how he plans to move forward with this Jackson Generals organization. So thanks for tuning in this week to CrossFit. Good luck on the road. I'll see you next.
We don't do CrossFit. We do crosstalk.
Crosstalk, not CrossFit.
CrossFit's a little bit too tough for us.
Well, that's you, man. That's all you. So anyway. Thanks for the extended blooper reel as well. I'm Josh Lemons, the idiot, and this is Chris Harris, the broadcaster. Thanks for tuning in.
Kiss it goodbye.